I want to start off day two of my Brian Walsh trial coverage a little different because I have a little theory that's popped into my head on day two of the trial after seeing some of the evidence, and maybe your mind will go in the same direction as mine after you hear the testimony from today. What if Brian Walsh was into Anna Walsh sleeping with other men? But then, when she got delayed due to weather, missing Christmas Eve, he started getting into his own head and getting a little jealous. What if she doesn't care about me now? It also matches all the times where no one was on the opinion that Anna was going to leave Brian. Then, when they talked of divorce to try to save money from the restitution on his federal case, he started thinking, what if that's a trick so she's free to permanently be with another man? Was the end result of his paranoia what this trial's all about? Just a theory I have at the point of this recording. This is going to be the first half, the first part of me recording for the second day of the trial. That's where my head is at. Let me know what you think as we get through the evidence. Maybe you're on the same boat. The second day began with the state dealing with stipulations and a brief defense sidebar. We are back with the recorded interview. I can't imagine anything actually useful to the case will come out, but we'll see. Wrote that in my notes. It is more lies, which is something the jury already knows about. After the recording, the judge reads a stipulation about the email that I had behind me yesterday. They mention a second email from the same address saying, here is Anna Walsh. Unless she pay the money we deal, she isn't coming back. Thanks and good luck. The email contained the photo of a woman that isn't Anna Walsh. Reverse image searching showed it was a stock photo labeled under kidnapped stock photos. There was a search warrant that was sent to Google about the email, and the IP address was actually from Nigeria, and they aren't claiming that Brian Walsh sent the email. I will say that VPNs exist, and also so does scheduling emails, but they're not making that claim. I'm just putting it out there. That's a thing that is possible. They talk of WhatsApp. It's mentioned of Abdullah, who's an old co-worker. Also, a family friend was mentioned. The dog was barking in the background, and the Walsh pool at this point had been drained. The public was sending the witness right now on the stand lots of tips. They showed some photos around the house. Anna's prior names were Nip and Ludachik. Brian Walsh, his kids, and his mom were home when the search warrant was executed. There was an interview on the 8th, the day of the search warrant, at Brian's lawyer's home with Brian. I believe that's where it happened. The judge explains to the jury that financial records have been stipulated to. They play the next interview. They confront him in this recording about the iPad searches for the best way to dispose of a human body hours after he claims his wife left. Brian blames this iPad belongs to his son. That's what he said. So, the son's 6. Don't think he was searching that. They bring up dozens of searches involving cleaning and disposal. Brian says he has no idea. They went back to the police station after the interview, and they saw him later on in the day when he was placed under arrest. The state shows the injuries on Brian Walsh's hands, and he explains the process of collecting from the dumpsters. They show photos going through bags, and they show Anna Walsh's COVID-19 vaccination card. They show an overdrawn account belonging to Anna Walsh. It's overdrawn due to automatic payments, not due to like Brian spending money. I'm sorry, my eye's still killing me. No activity after December 31st. They're showing her accounts to also show how much money she had that Brian Walsh would get. They now read the stipulation about his federal fraud charges. Brian had not been sentenced at the time of his arrest in this case, but they go through, he's looking up to a $400,000 fine, up to like 30-some months in prison. He was hoping to get probation. Now the defense is up to cross-examine. It's going to be very fun. Financial records is the totality of the investigation. It shows no withdrawals by Brian Walsh. He didn't find these records in the physical possession of Brian Walsh. Brian told him about the federal case and said it was all his fault. Painting fraud about Warhol paintings, no other federal cases that he knows about. The second email was after Brian Walsh was in custody. They believe the email had nothing to do with Brian Walsh. So again, could be a scammer, but remember, VPNs exist. You can schedule emails. It's just not a route that the prosecution needed to focus on, right? They got him for something a lot worse. He doesn't know how those cuts on Brian's hands occurred. They searched the home and searched the Volvo. Brian Walshe was with him. He mentioned the plastic sheeting and the maple seedling. That plastic sheeting in the Volvo was not seized, and they never compared the plastic sheeting they did seize to what was in the Volvo. Talk of child-proof latches at the top of the basement door. Any adult could undo those. I'm going to be honest, I don't know why this is being talked about, but hey, that's there. Talk of the hole in Brian's bedroom ceiling pieces in the drawer. Brian said the hole occurred because Brian was up there walking around. The presumption from what Brian said was before January 1st when this happened. Talk of pink insulation. The basement ceiling had pink insulation. They found some bags in the basement he didn't open, but touched with his boot. He assumed it was a rug. The last step in the basement was cracked and the floor was concrete. Nothing important was found in the pool. There was a search in Brian's history about measuring blood in a pool. The dog didn't hit on anything related to this case. Investigators later went on basically how the investigators went to the house looking for anything significant and took it. The defense asked, is there no such thing as iMessenger? The witness says not of that exact quote. Brian Walshe used the term iMessenger, and Brian seemed to mean Facebook messages. Witnesses not aware of forensic evidence that Brian Walshe saw iMessages between Anna Walshe and Fastow. The defense asked if Facebook Messenger is visible to everyone, and the witness says no. And the defense just completely ignores it and seems to make, to me, the suggestion that Facebook Messenger is public, so you wouldn't use it for things because people can see it. And so there was an objection sustained. But Facebook Messenger is private messages. The defense is trying to compare it to like your public wall. My only guess at this point is there someone old, like very old on this jury that has no clue what's going on? I wrote that in my notes. Like maybe they're trying to trick him. Where my mind went. And it seems with the way some of these explanations are coming up, there might be someone on this jury that just doesn't understand technology. That seems to be something that's very possible. No forensic evidence that Brian Walshe saw any Facebook messages between Anna Walshe and Mr. Fastow. Brian Walshe gave names Anna might have contacted, which included William Fastow. Brian claimed he wasn't aware of an affair. Defense asked, wouldn't someone not give the name of someone their wife was having an affair with? Objection. Sustained. Defense rewords it as part of his training. Objection. Sustained. Defense tries to talk about an affair being good or bad, and the witness said he never said that. On the 7th, Brian was told the public would have suspicions of what he might have done to Anna. They bring up Trooper Nicholas Guarino, so it's a new witness. Brian is seen smiling with his attorney during this time. They go through his credentials, and he does digital forensics, and the jury is sent out on a break. We are back. This is a wall of text. I apologize. I'm going to do my best. This witness was involved in the search on January 8th. 3 MacBooks, 2 iPhones, and 3 iPads. Photos of electronic devices were submitted and shown. The process of storage is explained. They're explaining the basics of how an Apple product and Apple IDs work, how web browsers work. And again, I wonder if someone on the jury has no idea, right? Explains how they copy files. They could examine from December 25th until they obtained it. So I think this is key. Also for kind of my theory that I'm working off of is they couldn't look before January 25th. And even doing that, my little theory I mentioned at the start, I don't know, to me, it's fitting. They explain how information is saved on a hard drive. They looked at internet search history. Most searches were done in Safari. And they explain what a search engine is, what Safari is. They're at the bench because the state wants to introduce a binder of the search history. It's all submitted. So they're going to have a physical printout. Again, maybe this is for like an older person. I don't know. There's a physical binder. I think they did say that they're going to have a digital version for the jury can all look at individually. Maybe the physical one, they'll get that one copy. They put some of it on the screen explaining UTC and things. They're using they're using the search of how to dispose of body as an example, explaining how you read the web page or the page like explaining how everything works. He was 6 pages deep into an article of disposing the body. He also did Yahoo searches, not just Google. He after being on page 6 of disposing a body, an hour later went to page 7, just showing that this is a long time thing. He went 11 pages deep into the article, all the way to the end. He looked for lows. How long does DNA last? Does an objection, asking for a sidebar. More searches and page titles. I'm going to try to get them correct, as many as I can. There was, can ID be done on partial human remains? How to dispose of a cell phone? How to dispose of a computer? Can I use my wife's credit card if she's missing? Well, or I am on my wife's credit card and she is missing. Can I still use the card? My wife is missing. What should I do? Your spouse is missing. You want a divorce. Best ways to dispose of body parts after murder. 6 ways to dispose of a body. Dash murder, murder, murder. That's a title on a web page. So he was not searching murder, 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 to be clear. Patrick Kearney was Google searched. They asked who that is. He was named the trash bag killer. There was an objection at the sidebar, and they ended up striking the explanation, but that he was searched gets to stay. Cleaning up a body, and it was a YouTube, cleaning up after a body, I think it was a YouTube video. They explain what YouTube is. Again, someone on this jury doesn't know what's going on. How to clean blood from a wood floor. Can I use bleach to clean my wood floors from blood stains? What does bleach do to dead bodies? I want to get away with murder? Use a special detergent. Is it better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them? How to use hydrogen peroxide on blood stains. How to clean blood stains with hydrogen peroxide on YouTube. Should I use hydrogen peroxide 8 on blood stains and concrete? Can the FBI tell when you accessed your phone? You're late looking that up. Does the dishwasher clean blood? A page is titled, Is it possible a knife that had blood on it is contaminated with HIV after it has been washed with hot water and dish soap? How to remove SIM card from an iPhone. How to remove a hard drive from an Apple laptop. TJ Maxx near me. How long do stores keep security footage? How to saw a body. How to dismember a body. Google search for that one. Hacksaw, the best tool for dismembering a body. Details of dismemberment discussed in murder trial. Can you be charged for murder without a body? Murder conviction without a body. No corpse, no problem. Notable murder convictions without a body. A&E true crime. Can you identify a body with broken teeth? Disposing of a body in the trash. He looks up apartment rentals. I think it was Potter's mask. I'm not entirely sure, but something. Smells best. Can I mix white vinegar to stop smells? Can baking soda make a dead body smell good? Cleaning up blood without leaving a trace. Are footprints easy to wash away? How long for a dismembered body to decompose? Body found at trash station. Can a body decompose in a plastic bag? I am probably not getting any ads on this because this is like hitting every keyword. Can police get your search history without your computer? Does a cell phone track your historical location? There's no more searches on the MacBook from 8:55 p.m. on the 4th to 7th at 3:58 p.m. We are now looking at the older records. So this is like before January 1st or around then. He searches, gets Chase login, Gmail login, and then we get something interesting. Now, mind you, his wife is sleeping with a man. The man, according to both sides, it seems, doesn't believe Anna's going to divorce her husband. She's going to stay with him, but she's sleeping with this man, and she just missed Christmas Eve because she was sleeping with this man and the weather got bad and she couldn't make it in time, right? That's the theory as we're going with. And then she goes back to DC where this man is. He is on a video titled, Cheating Wife Seduces Another Man to Impregnate Her, Scarlet Scandal, Seth Gamble, Erotic X, Pornhub.com. December 22nd, 2022. 12:06 a.m. Maybe he's into something. I had a feeling before that. Now it was like, okay. He was also in a live adult chat room website. He lasts on these type of websites 7 to 8 minutes, if you were wondering about his longevity. Later that day, he's looking up divorce strategies and best states to divorce for a man. Looks up Washington, D.C. divorce laws, more divorce-related searches. Remember, the divorce searches they're claiming were not because of cheating, they were because of his case. There is a search about poker, and there's a change of topic coming soon, so they take a break. So, my mind at this point, this is where I'm stopping my first recording session. My mind is, what if the truth is, as I said at the beginning, a split? What if she wasn't actually cheating on him in a way that would cause him to divorce? What if it actually was something that they were both okay with, some sort of an open scenario, something like that? Something he's embarrassed by, something that maybe they think they can't use as an angle for the jury to say, oh no, he was fine with it. Maybe because there's someone on the jury who's a little old-fashioned, they don't think will believe him. Maybe someone who doesn't know what YouTube is. And they're going with the angle they're going with, where he didn't know. Because maybe they're thinking that's easier for the jury to swallow. It's easier for the jury to swallow he didn't know and she happened to die than he did know and she happened to die. Maybe that's a calculated gamble. I'm just guessing, right? Because we're just going through the evidence. That's where my mind is at, and I wonder where you're at. We are back, and the prosecutors go back to Patrick Kearney, the search for him, and the search for his Wikipedia article on January 1st. The investigation determined, using the search by the defendant, that Patrick Kearney was called the Trash Bag Killer. The iPad Mini 6 was copied. Witness explains how all of that works. He previously looked at it on the 7th after being given it by Brian. The same device was there on the 8th. It was named Brian's iPad. Search warrant limited the dates that could be examined. Sidebar. The warrant limited the dates from December 25th to January 8th. A web history was done twice, once when given by Brian and the other with the search warrant. So it was actually examined twice and they could verify, if that's what it was from. He is given a binder with both extractions. The second report used an updated version of Cellbrite, which just shows more data. The MacBook and iPad web history were the same. The MacBook is where the searches originated. So all the searches on the iPad were from the MacBook, and they got transferred over because of linked accounts. The two iPhones were copied. He explains the difference between iMessage and text message. iPhone Mini 13 had a different Apple ID. He explains how the phone data is shown. He explains what an AC charger is. The phone was locked at 7:57 a.m. on the 1st. Talk about it being locked and unlocked and locked and unlocked and charged, and happened multiple times. This witness also transferred evidence to the crime lab: 7 bags of rugs, metal, tissue, hair. There's a receipt of it being submitted. And then the cross-examination is up. Oh boy. Brace yourself, is all I'm going to say. He only applied for a warrant for select dates. And if he had a reason, he could have went back and applied for a different warrant for a different time frame. He didn't have any data to give the jury from before December 25th. And this is where the defense is trying to do some reasonable doubt. Listen, they're purposefully only showing you a select time frame, right? They're going with that. Witness says he didn't go further back because he was limited to what's in the warrant. He didn't have information for probable cause to go back further. Now, there's talk of the porn searches on 12/27. The defense asked if he saw reference to Slade, Dominant, Scarlet, Straps. Hold up. Yeah, the defense asked if he saw reference to Slade, Dominant, Scarlet, Straps, Cecilia. The judge at this point chimes in to help find the page number because I think she also want to know, where is this going? He looked at it and found it. They asked for a specific name of the cheating video and asked how it was viewed. Basically, how do I want to word this? Because it's confusing, in my opinion, from the way the defense was doing it, because I think they were trying to confuse the jury. Basically, the defense is asking what were the steps for the defendant to reach this specific cheating video. And the witness has to say, I don't know, because this website doesn't list search terms on separate web pages all the time like Google does. The defense tried to say searches would show, but that's only in the Google search engine. At this point, I literally stopped. Okay, I stopped. I went to the website. And if you type something in the search bar, it gives you recommendations without ever actually submitting the search. So because this is based on search history, there wouldn't be like a URL with search data. Okay, so there's no way to tell. He says there was no indication that cheating or wife was put in because you can't tell. Witness repeats you can't tell what was searched on the website. Defense attorney asked if he watched the movie. The witness did not. He reviewed other searches, but he had no idea what the movie was about. I get the feeling. I know what it's about from the title. Also because the websites are, the pages are still up, and if you search the name on Google, it comes right up, and you can see it's exactly what it says on the tin. He doesn't know how often he looked at that type of movie before December 25th. Defense claims you don't know how long the witness watched the movie, and he says, I do, 7 minutes. We know how long he lasted. He doesn't know how long the movie is. It's like 12 minutes. The witness has no idea if the defendant is trying to find videos of his favorite actress by her name. Can I just say this video is probably not getting monetization, because what do you mean? I went to both pages. I can't tell you if they're the same actress. I can't. Defense attorney asked what the front page of the website looks like. The witness says he doesn't use it, but he's sure it has options. So basically, I think the defense is suggesting maybe he went to the front of the website and then picked at random and didn't specifically search for cheating stuff, which, I mean, I guess is possible, but what is your defense, right? He's looking for his favorite actress, or is he clicking at random, right? Like, the defense is literally trying everything. Just, wow. The witness thought this information was important because it includes the word cheating wife. He didn't watch the movie or see if the actresses are the same. There's an objection, and the judge moves at the sidebar. Binder mark contains the entire contents of what was found in the MacBook on those dates, so they insinuate that he picked things to put it in was actually wrong. So basically, the defense incorrectly told the jury, insinuated that the witness picked what is in the binder. The binder is everything in its entirety. They ask about the he picked the time frame for the warrant, but the binder is everything in that time frame. The phone Mini 13, the iPhone, it was locked, unlocked, and could be done with face or passcode. It was unlocked for a couple minutes. Another trooper actually is the one that did the full investigation of the phone. Cellbrite can restrict by date and search terms. He didn't do search terms on the MacBook. He went through the entire timeline allowed. He can only see divorce references on the 27th because he can't go back. They occurred only on 12/27. He did not personally go and look up all the divorce searches and websites that the defendant went to. Someone might research divorce to protect family access to finances, things like that. But again, the other witness did the phone mapping. He did not see text messages between Brian and Anna Walsh during a time frame. He doesn't remember looking at documents in the searches about divorce to protect assets. He doesn't know what data was shown on the Chase website. So basically, the defense is saying, look, what about all the stuff that's on the Pornhub website that you can't see by the URL, but then saying, why didn't you know everything that was being shown on the Chase website? The state never had him try to explain every web page of the Chase website to them. He just told the prosecution that Chase had been visited. Search terms generate many results, many pages, and you choose what to click. The defense, in my opinion, is trying to confuse the jury because there was mention of redirects, like you go to a web page or you search something and it redirects you to something similar. The way the defense is wording it, it sounds like they're trying to say almost like Google just sends you to random places that have nothing to do with what you actually meant to search. So maybe he didn't mean to search certain things that are in the results. He did go to many of the links listed. If he put in the queries right now, he doesn't know if it would give him cemetery names. The results that are in the Google results literally change all the time, so there's no way to tell. You would have to search it then to see. And defense says, well, it could take you to a cemetery. I don't think you're looking for body disposal and mean to put in cemetery, right? Then the defense decides to say that maybe he added the word murder to try to get something more specific than what was coming up when disposing a body, because what came up were cemeteries. So the angle is he was searching murder stuff, not because he murdered, but because he wanted better search results that would match murder. That is an angle I didn't see coming. The defense presses why didn't go back before the 25th to look for disposing of a body. Witness says he would have needed probable cause. Well, obviously, like, you don't go looking for disposing of a body before you. If it was a spur of the moment killing, you don't look at it beforehand, right? Before January 1st, he saw nothing about DNA or how to get rid of a body or how to clean it up. He says if he thought someone had planned to cause a murder, he could have gotten another warrant. Objection sustained. He saw a search for William Fastow before January 1st. He never wrote a report about what he found. He just takes the exact copy so nothing is missed. The binder in front of him contains 3,677 records. He doesn't know how many are relevant, but he would say a good portion are relevant. And they end for the day, and the plan tomorrow is a massive list of witnesses. They're not going to be able to get through all of them. It's a bunch. Some of them are going to be long, some are going to be quick. But it sounds like the interviews and stuff were done with that stage. So if you were wanting to tune in, maybe this is going to be a better time tomorrow. I still think my theory is possibly right. I really do. It's so weird. It's so weird that, like, the defense decided to go with that angle with the videos he was looking up, right? But then try to go with maybe he's just watching his favorite actress. Like, the defense is he's just jerking it to the same person every time. Like, what are we doing here? It's a gooner defense. It's wild, right? Like, at least if he did the theory that was in my head, it kind of like matches up a little better, you know. Except, of course, they wouldn't admit that he killed her on the first with my theory, but that they were like an open relationship and he was into that type of stuff. Like, the defense could have easily been like, well, if he's looking up that type of content, maybe he's into it. And they didn't go that direction either. I don't know. I don't know what to feel about today with the defense. I don't get the defense at all. But I think this is literally going to boil down to the jury. Does the jury understand technology and porn and stuff like that? If they don't, maybe he'll be found innocent.